What's good, everyone? Welcome to a Sports Talk podcast. I'm your host, Pranav Sriraman, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, Marquette High School varsity baseball player, Jack Holubowski. Jack, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good today, Pranav. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellently. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. So, Jack, this season you are going to be starting for the Marquette baseball varsity team. And the last time Marquette baseball was even playing, they went the furthest they've ever been. However, going into the season, things are looking a lot differently. The roster composition of the last team, many of the roster is now in college. They're either freshmen or sophomore in college. So I want to know, what are your expectations for this upcoming season with the brand new roster? Do you believe you can replicate a similar type of run? I want to know what your thoughts on that are.
Obviously that's our goal in the end. I think it's either we're gonna go big or home. Really, we don't got much to lose. We have a pretty talented roster. We'll be pretty young, a lot of juniors, not too many seniors, and maybe bring some sophomore pitchers up. But I think anything's possible right now. The sky's the limit. A lot of the teams in the area and the state have lost their seniors as well from the 2019 squads.
Right.
And we went to state. But most of those teams that were really good that year are kind of going through the same thing we're going with a younger team. And us having Connor Thornberry, Penn State commit, and then Mason Breidenbach, soon to be Power 5 commit, should be pretty interesting having me, Mason, and Connor at the core of the lineup, seeing what we can do, and then just kind of filling in and pitching from there. But I think we can definitely replicate what happened just with the scenario in our favor. There's not too many teams out there that are dominant, and it's really anyone's game at this point in time. So
Right. That's great to hear. And you did mention a Power 5 school, and you yourself are committed to a Power 5 school in Mizzou. I want to know what went into the decision to commit to Mizzou. What made Mizzou stand out to you in front of all these other schools which you got offers from?
I mean, really, my biggest thing was, I wanted to stay close to home. Family's big to me.
Right.
I really want my parents, my grandparents to be able to watch. That was one of my biggest things, and just a little reward to my parents for them paying for everything this whole time, my whole life, and sticking through it and going through the whole recruiting process and paying for all this stuff and basically giving me the privilege to be the best player that I can be.
Right.
Another thing was definitely the coaches. They made a really strong push for me, and I really connected with them on a high level.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was definitely one of the bigger things that went into my mind. Also, I just really feel like, it's gonna be the best place for me to improve as an individual. And no matter where you play, whether it's JUCO, NAIA, the SEC, Big 12, Big 10,
Right.
you're gonna get seen. So I'm really looking forward to going there. I know they got some pretty strong recruiting classes coming in right in front of me, so I'm excited to see what they can do in the next few years. And hopefully, when I get there, we're competing for a national.
So most people know that you are committed to Mizzou. You are the standout baseball player. But what most people don't know is, as a Marquette baseball player, they haven't seen a sample size of you play yet. What can you give to the fans or the student body a little bit of insight on how your game is? What position do you play? And what insight could you give them on what to expect from you this season?
So I'll start off by naming my position. So I primarily play third base, but I would call myself corner infielder, fill in at first a little bit, a little versatility there. Maybe play a little bit of outfield if needed, and I'll pitch a bit. But I prioritize my game off of my hitting for sure. That's my strong suit, and that's where I look to really stand out when I play. Obviously, I want to stand out in other aspects of the game, but my hitting is definitely my biggest, most powerful tool. I mean, like skill set wise and just like how I play the game, I'm really excited because I feel like there's a lot of people that like they know about me and they've heard about me, but like I wouldn't say like they're like preying on my downfall a little, like
Right.
kind of doubting me, and they've heard all these things, but they're just not believing it. And like
Right.
when I start playing and everything, and I truly think that people will realize that I'm like it's not a joke, and like I'm truly like how I'm
You're the
like
real deal.
I'm the real deal. Like everything that's been said is true and nothing's over exaggerated. So I'm really excited to showcase my talent, especially playing high school baseball. I mean, I've never done it before. I've heard great things about it, just that it's a whole different experience from like club and all that. So I'm really excited, and just to play for your school and like your town and everything, and kind of have a community rally behind you. I'm really excited for that. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
Right. And based off this conversation, I could tell that you put a lot into this and you come prepared. So I want to know, going into this season, what have you done to prepare yourself to be the best version possible for you and your teammates?
I mean, the biggest thing for me is staying physically and mentally strong.
Right.
I think at least 80% of the game mental, and if you have the right if you have the right head on your shoulders, you can do anything. I mean, physically, I started really watching what I ate about last summer, and it's shown great benefits just in my overall strength and the way I move and my ability to control my body and exert force in places where needed. So, I mean, I run a pretty tight schedule with like weight room and stuff. Actually now during practice and everything, I'm waking up at like 5 o'clock 4 days a week to go lift and stuff because I got practice till 6 and schoolwork and all that kind of stuff. So it's a hard schedule, but it's definitely worth it in the end. And when we start playing and I perform, and I think I'll perform to the highest standard that I physically can, I think that it's gonna really it's gonna show that everything that I worked for and did paid off.
Well, Marquette students, you have a lot to be excited for when you watch Jack Holubowski on the diamond this spring. Jack,
Thank
thank you
you
for
for having
coming
me,
on.
Pranav. I really appreciate it.